How's it going, my Trim people? Dr. Slacking, the Slacking Doctor, back with our draft analysis for the UBL off-season, as this season your Forest Green Snovers are competing in a low-tier tournament. Well, tournament, short season. It's not really a tournament because it's not knockout, so I guess short season, I guess. I don't know what terminology we're using for it, but anyway. I think the season's something like 8 weeks, something like that, plus playoffs. It might be shorter, it might be longer, but approximately that. A lot of leagues are kind of turning that's led the season anyway, so it's going to feel like quite a normal length season, I guess, but we're just going to be playing with low tier ones. And as always, you can see the draft on the screen because we do draft analysis a little bit different around here. If you don't know already, I think that it's a waste of time to tell you the story of the draft and all that crap because you don't care, you weren't there. What you want to know is what ones we're using and why. So I had first overall pick, that's all you need to know, and I picked up Tauros because I thought it was the best Pokemon in this restricted format. It is pretty low tier, so Tauros and Scyther were the top two by some distance in my opinion. And I went for Tauros because I think it's better, but I could be wrong. And then I just really wanted to build a team that support that, so I've got some things here that we won't have until after week 1, and maybe not till after week 2 because of the trades. I made some trades, and I just put the trades in as if I drafted them to make it easier for you guys. So, Berserker in tier 2. Basically gives us some really good momentum, and it also pressures the kind of steel types that Tauros can get walled by and potentially can break them. It does get set up with things like Sword Stance. You will see a Kling Clang in week 1 and possibly 2, but that will change to a Berserker just because I felt like it gave me setup options and stuff and hit a bit harder than the Kling Clang did while maintaining a steel type pivot. Then we have Poliwrath. Going to come in on the Scolds for Tauros, which is really, really nice because Tauros doesn't want to get burnt with that. Water Absorb, we can also use manual rain in this, so I could set up rain if I wanted to and try and sweep. But really, yeah, just here to be a good phaser with circle throws, decent now at liquidation close combat. I've used Poliwrath a bunch of times. It's just really fat and can hit decently hard. Drain Punch AV sets are good as well. Again, it's low tier, so this thing as a fighting type wall breaker to come in on those steals for Tauros is pretty good. They're the main things that kind of wall Tauros, right? Rock types, steel types, ghost types. Well, now I have something pressuring them with Berserker and something that can resist steel and come in on them with Poliwrath and then break them as well. So that water fighting combination is always really good with an offensive normal type, in my opinion. I've done it a bunch of times with like Keldeo and Staraptor, for example. Then we picked up Sableye. This gives us a fighting resist to support Tauros, so yeah, potential Mark Punchers or Scarf fighting types that want to come in. Now makes it a little bit difficult because we've got a decent Ghost type. Don't listen to Root, he says it's crap. It's not crap. We've got a decent Ghost type that can come in. Also, potential fighting types want to Bluff Scarf and then Sword Stance up. Hey, maybe I can Will-O-Wisp them, Encore them, whatever. So in the same way that I use Whimsicott, I think Sableye can be really disruptive and lend a really good fighting immunity to support the Berserker and Tauros, and also a Psychic Immunity course for Poliwrath. Then Cramorant, this one was traded for. Originally we have Togetic on the team. Togetic sucks. I don't know why I picked up Togetic. I don't know why I did it. It's not a me mon. It's a good mon, it's just not a me mon. So we switched to Cramorant. Water plus Flying is really hard to switch in on. I can't offer you lots of analysis of why this is on the team because really it was a forced pickup through the trades to try and improve the team a little bit. But hey, Water plus Flying is good stab. And it gives us a remover, and look at him at the top of the mountain swallowing that Pikachu. He's funny, and that's good. Vibrava tier 5, good utility, U-turn, defog, whatever. It's just a secondary ground type because I'm going to skip over one here to go down to Rhydon. As we picked up our ground type, we are pretty grass not weak in our main electric immunity, so I wanted a secondary electric immunity that if I was playing as something that had access to say Nasty Plot Grass Knot, I could have something to bring to check that if I needed to. Vibrava might not come to any games at all. It just forces prep by my opponent to think about at least he has 2 electric immunities. Rhydon's here because it's a really, really good rocker and also a pretty nice wall breaker in this format. Potential rock polish sweeper sets are good too. I just think it can be really powerful. I wish it wasn't our only rocker on the team, but it is. That's how it goes sometimes. There might be matchups where I can forego rocks and go with a breaking set, and then it will hit really, really hard. Back up to Flapple. This is one of the ones we picked up. Again, can kind of pressure those steel types, being grass and dragon. The only typing that really resists both of it, stabs that well, is steel. So potentially, you know, we can bring those in and try and break them for the Tauros, or we can U-turn out again, just like we can with Berserker, and wear them down with hazards plus momentum. So just gives us a few options there. Cramorant and Vibrava aren't the best ground immunities, so it's a pretty good ground resist considering our other grass type, which we'll get onto, doesn't resist ground. it's just solid. I think that a dragon type plus a normal type and an offensive core is also good. So because of pressure in those steals. And there aren't many good steals in low tier anyway. Then Roselia, I don't think Roselia is great, to be honest. I kind of regret picking it up. I wish I'd just gone for Maractus in tier 5, which would have been a lot cheaper and done the same thing, which is give me spikes, and that's really what I wanted out of it. So, yeah, waste of points in my opinion there, but it gives us a grounded poison, it gives us 2 spikes for spikes, it has a bunch of other things. Again, a really good Scold switch in for Tauros, having Natural Cure as well. It does support the team well. Like, I had reasons for picking it, another good fighting resist. I had reasons for picking it, I just think it's a bit bad, really. But it does fit the team. It does fit the team. And then last up, Jinx, talking about pressuring those steel types. Now we have another Pokemon that's dual stab. Really is only resisted by steel types in Ice plus Psychic. And this time it's a special hitter, so that then they're forced, like, if you're bringing your steel type, do you try and run Spadef? Do you try and run Fizdef? Or are you going to have to bring your bulky water to try and check Jinx? And then you're not going to be able to bring that to try and check Berserker or Poliwrath. And it just forces a bunch of different things. Nasty plot setup as well, so it gives us a decent speed tier as well in this format. Yeah, really, this team was just, let me throw Tauros on it and then bring a bunch of things that make steel types be like, okay, I want to switch into that, I want to switch into that, I want to switch into that, and then hopefully be dead by the time Tauros is in the end game, whilst also being useful Pokemon in their own right. It's not a perfect team, it really isn't. I could have drafted a lot better, but I think it's decent. I think we, I still want to target playoffs with this. I don't necessarily think we can win the league with this team, but we had round 1 pick, right? First overall, pick, and we got to make use of it. So that's the team. Let me know what you think down below. Mainly, I'll be honest, I just want to use Berserker. That's my favorite Pokemon from this generation. Top 3 favorite Pokemon of all time. That, Swampert / Mudkip, and Snorlax are my top 3. And yes, I'm counting Swampert and Mudkip as one Pokemon, because they're in the same evolutionary line. Let me have it. I love Berserker so much. I can't wait to see that little man. I don't know why I didn't draft him. Why did I draft Klinklang? Because Klinklang was tier 4, and that was way too cheap, and Berserker was tier 2, and that was a decent price. But anyway, we have him now. That's the main thing. I traded for him because I wanted to see the little man do work, and he's going to do work. That's all you need to know about it. Gonna end it here. Thank you so much for looking around with me, and I'll catch you again next time.